This leader is provided to facilitate adjustment of focus. Please be aware there are spoilers contained in this video presentation.
Is it magic or maybe voodoo? Like you're trapped in some perpetual run through. So while you're stuck in Punxsutawney, might as well get a master's degree.
Groundhog Day was released in 1993, directed by Harold Ramis, and it was nominated for the National Film Registry.
As far as an overall movie, it was good. But I swear I've done this already. This review. Have I done this review already? The big lesson learned about this was due diligence and changing your ways. You can inadvertently hook up with the girl you were trying to hook up with earlier in the movie. This makes me wonder, did Bill actually go through all the women already? He went out with the one Nancy, then he went out with the prostitute.
Told you. Call me Bronco.
Sorry, Bronco.
Larry is dressed up as Clint Eastwood, but then he had been in there 100 years and was able to go out with every woman in Punxsutawney. You're still meeting someone for the first time a few hours ago before you went there, because even though you've been there 100 years, they've only been there a few hours. So
the snowball fight in the park, I thought showed that really, really well, that how exhausting that would be.
These types of movies, because Happy Death Day was one, and then Edge of Tomorrow, it's hard to sit there and watch the same thing over and over and over again, and it just drags on, where if you're just making little minor changes, that's where the movie stalls.
I don't know. I actually have in my notes that I feel like they did it better than a lot of the other versions of it. In Rashomon type movies, where you get the same story from several different aspects, has the same problem, is how do you tell that story again and still keep it moving when everybody knows everything up to the punchline.
Knowing kind of the other challenges that Ramis had with Murray, and kind of the writing, and just because Ramis wanted it to be more comedic than Murray wanted.
Yeah, he wanted to be more philosophical.
Yeah.
Ramis has gone on record of saying that it was 10 years of days.
It's still a decade, but I have heard that it was much longer.
It's kind of an emotional roller coaster, because he's super excited about it.
We could do whatever we want.
And then he feels really trapped, and then he starts trying to really get to know Andy McDowell, and then that doesn't work out, and then you really get low.
This is pitiful. 1,000 people freezing their butts off waiting to worship a rat.
The almost running into the train on the third day, I felt like that was that was a little excessive.
The cop is chasing him. He gets off the track. The cop is still there. The cop is getting hit by the train. If the day doesn't reset, then he killed some cops, and that's messed up.
The second draft of the script says that it was caused by Phil's scorned ex-girlfriend, Stephanie. She literally puts a curse on him, opens a book of magic spells, and does a little ritual that gets him stuck in time. I am really glad that they left that out, that they changed that, because I think it's so much better when you don't know why, that it's just a thing that happened.
Happy Death Day, it's actually college students create a time loop in their lab.
So I'm supposed to keep dying until I figure out who my killer is?
There's one sheet that has all the different routes that you can go, the multiverse, and then the time loop.
How do you think it would change it if you had access to the internet?
I don't know that would make that big of a difference.
Because even if you talked to someone and said, hey, look, I'm having a weird time loop thing, it wouldn't matter, because by 6 o'clock the next day, he would everything would be reset again.
That's an unusual problem, Mr. Connors. Most of my work is with couples, families. I have an alcoholic now.
If you had access to all the world's knowledge at your fingertips, it seems like the information that he's looking for, he can generally find in his 24 hours.
Being a ukulele player, the idea of having basically an unlimited amount of capital and time to sit and learn a skill, you could get amazing.
Right. Chris Elliott, does he play any other character?
He knows his wheelhouse. Thelma and Louise was in 1991, and this was in 1993. So the homage of the truck going off the cliff.
It's showtime, Phil.
You're doing pretty well for a quadruped.
I thought Bill Murray in the scene where he was trying to save the homeless man was very well done. I know that probably that is not as deep as he wanted to go, but I felt like he showed some real range.
Having that
It's just old. It was just his time.
is an interesting thread to weave in to this narrative.
When Bunderding Binderpatch crashes his car in the river in Doctor Strange, his watch stops, and it was Tuesday, February 2nd, Groundhog's Day. Took 10 years for somebody, even in the age of the internet, to notice.
That's a bit of a reach, but I mean, for sure interesting, but
That's real interesting, dog.
it's a Marvel connection.
Marvel
Almost.
connection.
I went and looked. I was like, one of these guys has to have been in some Marvel movie. Nope, none of them.
But we've got a DC connection because General Zod.
Yep.
Yeah.
And actually, there are a couple people that did voiceovers for DC cartoons. But
Of course there are.
lots of piano, but no ukuleles.
It seems like this had the potential to have ukulele in it.
Because it would hardly have been a time loop if you had a ukulele with you. Hey, I got you, babe. I'm going to give this 3.5 because, I mean, it really is a classic. Like, when you think of comedies. And, yeah, it was great.
I think that I'd give it a 3. It's a really solid movie. I think it ended up being more philosophical than I remembered it being.
You got flapjacks? Yeah, I would. I'd give it 3. It's much funnier now. I think the first time I saw it, it was kind of little much to get through because it's a hard story to get through because it's someone living the same day over and over again. But it's a good comedy and I liked it, and I would give it a 3.
It's over!